Voila, here I am. Hey folks, Warren Streppel here, President of the Florida Real Estate Investor Association, bringing you this week's edition of the FAN, the FLREIA Action News. And we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, as it is the season, and it's also the season for crime. That's right. Hate to give you some bad news, but be careful out there as you're out there shopping. These guys are always looking for opportunities, so don't give these guys opportunities. Put your stuff away in your trunk, wherever you can. And landlords, we're seeing an increase in crime in some of the properties too. And the big ticket items are either if you have a vacancy, the inside of the home, they'll probably destroy some walls, as a couple of our members had happen to their properties, where they were taking the copper out of the walls. I just want to know who's buying this copper. Maybe if we go to that guy, we can find out who's stealing this thing. And then air conditioner units, a big ticket item that's getting ripped off. And these guys are good. We had one of our properties taken, where, I mean, not a trace was left. I mean, everything was clean cut and everything. So we have found a vendor that's putting on some cables for us that you have to torch to get off. So we've got to watch out for our properties. And again, unfortunately, this is the season, and a lot of people are hurting out there. So we got to take care of business. All right. So be careful out there, but still enjoy the season. Be nice to one another, and enjoy the holidays. All right. Well, let's talk about what's on tap for this week. We got limits on deficiency judgments, investors to blame for mortgage crisis, South Florida to lead the state's real estate recovery, the Florida Supreme Court to rule on a foreclosure case, and the Miami Dolphins. Big news there. All right, from dsnews.com. That's right, we're hearing about limits on deficiency judgments. That's right. A bill is being introduced that would limit the time a lender may pursue foreclosed borrowers for a deficiency judgment. All right, now if you don't know what that is that if you take a short sale or if you lose a property in foreclosure, the lender is able to has to account for the loss. Let's say you owe $200,000 on the property, he got $100,000 on foreclosure or a short sale. There's $100,000 there that they lent you that they have to account for, so most likely they come after you either via 1099 or a deficiency judgment. All right, now the deficiency judgment means that you still have to pay it. They can come after, put a judgment on you personally, and it stays with you for a while. So, currently lenders are able to pursue the foreclosure borrowers via a deficiency judgment, which now varies from state to state, from either 6 months on up to 6 years. Okay? Now, this bill called the Fairness in Foreclosure Act, which is H.R. 3566, would prohibit lenders from pursuing deficiency judgments more than 12 months after foreclosure, except in states with shorter windows for deficiency judgments. The act also aims to restrict deficiency judgments against all low-income families. Interesting there. And then additionally, if the amount secured through foreclosure sale does not recover the full amount owed to the lender, the bank would not be allowed to report the deficiency to consumer reporting agencies as an unpaid debt from the borrower. This is Representative Ed Towns out of New York. He is the author of the proposed bill. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if that goes through. Investors to blame for mortgage crisis. That's right. A new report from researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York focuses on the sharp run-up and subsequent collapse in housing prices during the 2000s. All right, it concludes that the real estate investors who use mortgage credit to purchase multiple residential properties with the intent of flipping or reselling them within a short period of time played a larger role in fueling the housing bubble than previously recognized. They're saying that these investors, the Fed researchers, are saying that they helped push prices up during 2004 to 2006, but when prices began to head south, they jumped. They defaulted in large numbers, which served to intensify the housing cycle's downward leg, which I tend to agree with. The report suggests that investors are more likely to walk away. And, yeah, it's not where they live. And now, I'll get to some more as to why they would have walked. At the peak of the boom in 2006, the New York Fed's researchers found that over a third of all U.S. home purchases, all purchase lending was made to people who already owned at least one house. Now, the largest share of investors was in, guess where? Arizona, California, Florida, and Nevada. The investor share of mortgage-financed home purchases roughly doubled between 2000 and 2006, with the largest increases seen among those owning 3 or more properties. All right. That's from 2007 to 2009. They found that investors were responsible for more than a quarter of seriously delinquent mortgage balances nationwide, and more than a third in Arizona, California, Florida, and Nevada. Again, the availability of ninja loans. This is the no income, no job, no asset loans to investors, enabled investors to make highly leveraged bets on house prices. And again, that's what they were doing, was betting. But again, I would hardly call these folks investors, as I would call them speculators and uneducated investors. These folks ran out there. Now, not to mention that, a few of the educated guys did take a hit. We knew a lot of hard money guys that had been in the business a while. They took a hit. And again, got caught up in the frenzy. So it hurt a lot of us. But yeah, a lot of these guys uneducated were driving up prices like crazy. I remember here, you can put up a sign, and within 4 hours, you'd have a deal signed and closed, probably for $200,000 more than you asked for. I mean, it was just that crazy. But obviously, we've paid the price now. So it's the end of that story. All right, now from the Daily Business Review. Here, they're saying South Florida to lead the state's real estate recovery. That's right, with a consistent interest from international real estate buyers, which we know. We're seeing a lot of money coming into from our international buyers. South Florida should lead the rest of the state into a real estate recovery in the coming year. This is according to speakers during Tuesday's Economic and Real Estate Summit hosted by the Realtors Association in their Orlando headquarters. Buyers have stepped back into the Florida market. Well, we knew that, said Lawrence Young, chief economist of the NAR, National Association of Realtors. Now, while lenders must deal with foreclosure and distressed properties, they are expected to take a gradual approach to selling the properties, according to Florida Realtors chief economist John Tuccillo. So, again, good news for us down here in South Florida. And again, be cautious. Make sure you're buying smart, and don't rush into something just because you think it's a deal. Make sure it's the numbers are right. All right, from the Post, big news here. Florida Supreme Court to rule on the foreclosure case. Now, we've been following this case, and it had been settled out of court with Pino, this guy out of Green Acres. And now Florida Supreme Court said it will rule on this already settled Palm Beach County foreclosure case because the opinion could impact the mortgage foreclosure crisis throughout the state. 4 of the 7 justices said the legal question posed transcends the individual Green Acres homeowner and is one that needs to be answered for lower courts and litigants. So obviously we know it was a 4-3 judge battle there with the Supreme Court justices. So it looks like it's going to be heard. At issue is whether the bank can still be held accountable for fraudulent documents if it voluntarily dismisses the foreclosure case when challenged, which is what Thomas Ice did with this case. He was the attorney on record here. The appeals court wrote, "We conclude that this is a question of great public importance as many mortgages foreclosures appear tainted with suspect documents. In a year-long period beginning from July 1, 2010 to more than 104,000 foreclosure cases were dismissed from Florida courts, according to the Office of State Courts Administrators. Attorneys believe the dismissals were made because banks did not have proper paperwork." Okay, now this is a quote here. "Anytime banks get in trouble, they can easily make cases go away with a large settlement," I said. And again, there are still an estimated 371,000 foreclosure cases backlogged in Florida courts. So, this is a big deal because whatever the Supreme Court here, the Florida Supreme Court decides here, could make a huge impact on the rest of these cases. So, we are definitely keeping an eye out for this, as this will impact how we do business here. All right, and the Miami Dolphins, huge update. Obviously, we caught the game. Sad loss against the Eagles. Again, they should have stuck with the running game with Reggie Bush. He was hot when he was out there, and then they took him off trying to play catch-up via the air game. So Sperano was fired yesterday. I'm sorry, not yesterday, Monday. So Todd Bowles is now the interim head coach, and what spurred this on? Yeah, everybody said that he was probably last to the end of the season. Well, other coaches are being fired around the nation, like the Jacksonville Jaguars. They just dumped their quarterback. Their coach, and so the Dolphins couldn't afford to wait. If they're looking for a good coach, they needed to get out in the market. So we'll see how who they pick. Let's hope for somebody good. All right. So that's the Dolphins there for you. All right, what's happening at the FLREIA? It is Survival to Thrival Tour coming up. This is February January 16th through February 8th. I will be on tour with Frank McKinney as we travel the country, speaking to the homeless, trying to lift them up, and we're even donating, but the Caring House Project Foundation is donating funds to each of the local shelters to help them. So for everybody they have to attend, the Caring House Project Foundation gives them $25. So exciting news for these guys, just to have Frank come and speak. So we're excited to be on this tour. So look forward to being out there, and hopefully Sharon can keep up the office while I'm away. All right, and then let's see. Don't forget the Real Estate Opportunities webinar every Tuesday at 12:45. We will be canceling a few of them as the year ends, as people will be on vacation, and not a whole lot of interest from some of the folks. So, but anyway, we know we're still doing business here. We've got several closings online here, so keep looking at the properties and sell them. All right, and then God's Property at 12:15 on December 15th at 7:30 a.m. So hear what the big guy has to say about investing. All right, and then our business meeting is our Christmas party this year, Thursday the 15th, that evening, and black tie optional. And do not forget, if you are attending, if you haven't attended, please RSVP with Yvonne. But bring your unwrapped toy for Urban Youth Impact. It is a great help to help these guys, help the families provide a Christmas present for their kids. You don't know how much it lifts up the spirits of these folks, so great time. All right, and then into the new year, on the 10th will be our Elite webinar, so our conference call, whatever you want to call it, so join us for that. All right, that's the news. That is the news for this week. We look forward to seeing you at any one of our upcoming events. Don't forget to follow us on our social media at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.com, all /FloridaREIA. This is Juan Restrepo signing off. God bless, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Ho, ho,
the kingdom of God is within. The kingdom of God is within me. I carry it wherever I go. Got me some joy, joy, joy.